So, here I am with my next video. I was discussing about stuff and things. Hold on. So, what are we doing? Oh yeah, we're discussing how how the greed, from these big companies extends out to, to the individual, and, a lot of the times, um, So basically, I've thought about a lot of different things. How you can manage your trash is just by, everyone should have their own recycling thing, and I've got a lot of ideas, but it's really like, um, they're only far out there because of the fact that people think a lot of these greedy people are suppressing these ideas. If I had some engineers and people with the right, you know, ideas as me, and or would at least agree with me on mine, I think we could really, make some progress on this. But for one individual like me or anybody really to take on this, world dilemmas and such is I guess could be considered overwhelming to some, but it's really not. It's just you know exactly what to do. It's just you know exactly what to do in the big picture, if everyone was doing their part. But when you're not only just acting alone to come up with the ideas, but acting alone to actually have to carry them through, then that's a whole different story. So yeah. So, yeah. I more prefer to actually study these things, or talk about them, discuss them as I can actually do them. I've also been having some. Seems like my memory has been whacked out a little bit. I just got over a cold. Maybe that's it. But with all this medical stuff, it's really worrisome. The fact that my throat always hurts and stuff. But and also the fact that even my mom, who's helped me out with rides and stuff, who you know how every time how it's just so difficult, it seems, for people to just help out in a really basic way, and not just me, but I mean everybody. Um, but my mom and my sister and a few others have really been helping me out. So, with one way or another, have been helping me out. Um, but I think often that they don't help themselves out enough, and that they would just ignore a lot of the stuff I'm saying and have no clue about reality, and are really just brainwashed by media, and well, mostly media, but media extends out to, it's not really the media that's the problem so much as these influences. When one person, this sort of, the personalities that people develop through other people and such, as where people are watching the media, which is obviously part of the problem, but I think also part of the problem is where we have mimicry and people watching media, which may not be bad in of itself, but then they are mimicking that, and people are mimicking them, and because they're seeing it firsthand, I think that's really, the attitudes that people have, and people who copy them are really the thing. It can often be very subtle, so it's difficult. They might not even know they're picking them up. So that's basically a little rant about that. Um, so yeah, so here's my room. Um, so I'll just take you around. Should I take you around? I hate like sitting in the same spot. I think people should be able to get a view of everything. Here's me. I'm sitting down. I want to go on about stuff and tell people a lot of different stuff, but I think I go on enough as it is about things. There's my room. There's obviously this is considered messy because there's stuff. This is like my to-do pile over on the floor over there. Um, yeah, this is the room. Obviously, again, that's where the mount is. Hopefully, my audio. Hold on and check my audio. This is very important because if I don't have audio, which is very low, by the way, It's extremely low. I really have to fix this. It's not even peaking a quarter. It's about an eighth. It's not even hitting an eighth of its maximum sound. So I know that my sound is extremely low, and if you don't have amplified speakers, this is gonna be really low in headphones and stuff. So hopefully everybody out there has amplified speakers on their computers, and yeah. So, what is we doing? So, we're just hanging out. I broke the clock last night. Was already broken. Every time I think when the battery goes low, it comes off its gears and like the hands like are weird. So I was trying to fix it and without having to put in a new battery because it was still ticking. It was just not. The hand was just. So what did I do? Well, I tried to open it up and they made it really difficult. I mean, it was like they want you to. I mean, it's not they want you or don't want you to, but the way they put it together is very difficult um, to fix because it's got two screws that are these riveted screws. They're regular screws and they've got a rivet on the end, so those are difficult enough getting out. And then there's these clips that are on the part you put the battery in, and that holds the thing. And when I undid the clips, it must have completely pulled the hands off the gear, and so the hands are like all loose, or it messed up the gear somehow. And anyways, it's like they don't want you to. It's like there's no way, there's almost, I'm not sure how you're, supposed to fix it. Which is a shame when these manufacturers make things that, like a lot of these VCRs and DVD players and computers and stuff, where it's like, okay, so now you have this great thing and you have no idea how it works um, internally, and you know, so I think, obviously it's purposeful in a lot of ways, but I think a lot of times it's cheaper, and I think that if there was a company that would do it, it actually, figured it out as an engineer myself. Um, I actually had figured out ways to do things with a lot of clips instead of screws, and as far as the shell, anyways, um, as far as the shells to have them be clipped instead of screwed in. So you don't have to always. You need a screwdriver, then you lift the screws, and then they can rust, and all kinds of problems that happen with screws. Instead, I think that it would be easier to just have clips, at least for that. Then you get into the circuitry and the fact that we need these AVG programmers. You need to be fluent in these ridiculously complicated programming language just to edit these, or just to fix or modify these chips, these microchips, and then um, you can't just like go in and modify them. You need a special adapter and all this stuff. Ridiculous. Um, but at least they do have these adapters. But there's a more to program, I think, new chips than reprogram existing chips. So I would think that if you're going to use these chips, they should readily make available. First of all, a tutorial on a CD that everyone can, how there's certain things like everybody refers to, Wikipedia, YouTube, AOL for instant message, stuff that's pretty universal, that works. So it's always used. Those are websites, but books or whatever that people are referencing. There should be a video CD with uh, you know, that everybody references to. And I think that the video should be free, available online, so you don't have to manufacture the DVDs, although they're cheap. You don't have to print all those DVDs. You could make the product cheaper by just, having a reference page to a YouTube video or whatever. We give a quick tutorial on, or even a long tutorial, but a simple one. And you can say, okay, step by step, this is literally what you type, and what it does, and these are commands you'll need most. And then if you want, basic video, and then for an advanced user, let's go into an advanced video, and can be a 20-part video for the basic one and a 40-part for the advanced, but at least it's something that people can reference. And then you can just sell these chip modifiers and let people have at it. And if they want, have what you could do to make it really fun is you have the chip modifiers run on the same chips that the chip modifier is modifying. So you can modify the modifier as long as you have two of them. Or make it even more interesting, have it be able to plug into itself and modify itself. Although that would take some really complicated circuitry, I would think. Like, for instance, one way to do it is to modify one part of it at a time, and always have a spare program in more than one place of it. So that way you can be modifying one part of it, and then when that is modified, you can go and modify the other. Although I would say that you'd have to be well educated to do that, and do it at your own risk, because of the fact that you could always unprogram it. Then it wouldn't work. So you would want to actually not screw it up and have a basic knowledge, which is what the tutorial would be for. Anyways, and use a universal programming language for this stuff. So you don't have to have all these different modifiers. You can just have a little one. And it doesn't have to be that big. It's the size of your cell phone, or a Game Boy, or a remote control, or something, portable this size, and modify all your chips with it. And that's kept with your multi-tool, and then you can fix almost anything. Instead of this, and they should make better and better ones. So eventually, being able to modify these super layered chips, like these processors and whatnot, that are these photo conductor thingies with hundreds of, if not thousands or more, of layers. So yeah, that's my little rant about that. And I'll be back with another story. I'll be back.